Hi, hello. I'm Cheryl, people and culture consultant, coach, and facilitator. And this is the Wholehearted Hub. We are all storytellers. And on this channel right now, we're talking about stories, mostly the stories that we tell ourselves, not necessarily the stories that we read to our kids or that we read from the library, but the stories that we make up in our minds that we then maybe turn into words and that create our reality. Some of the stories that we make up might be positive. They might work for you. They might be great. And there are a lot of stories that we tell ourselves that don't serve us. When we are struggling or in fear or stumbling, our brains want to make sense of it. And so they make up a story. The story doesn't have to be based in the present reality. It enables us to ignore what's actually happening. We have an explanation, we have a story, so let's just go with that, whether it's true or not. The stories that we tell come from the parts of us that have been hurt or scared and that want control and are trying to protect us. The key is to be able to speak for those parts, not from those parts. You don't want the fear or the desire for control to be the thing that's making the decision for you, to be the thing that's having the conversation with your loved one or friend or coworker. You want it to be your actual self. And so in doing that, you want to get underneath the story. It's an opportunity to investigate. Sometimes you might not even know what it is that you're responding to. So I'll speak from experience right now. I'm leaving on a trip tomorrow morning, very early. And it's a trip that I'm really excited about. I've been planning it for a very long time, and I have anxiety. Fear is present. So I could just explain it away by saying it's really normal to be nervous around traveling, or some of the things that I've said to myself is like, I used to travel a lot. I haven't traveled as much recently. And so that's probably where some of the fear is coming from. But I've chosen to afford myself the time to really go into what it is that's coming up for me, to go underneath the anxiety that I'm feeling buzzing through my body. I noticed it a few days ago and I was like, huh, interesting. I could feel it. I did not enjoy the feeling of it. I don't have a ton of anxiety in my life regularly day to day. So I definitely notice it when it's present. I've tried to breathe through it and I decided to just like ask it what was going on. I journal about it. For me, my journal is really the best exploratory tool because I can write it down. I can write the things out that I don't even necessarily know. No judgment, no criticism, just is. It just is what it is. And I was able to get to the root of what was happening. And it was something that happened to me a really long time ago. And I just took the time to notice. I just noticed it and I let it be and I let it come to me. And I know that the fear in the present day isn't grounded in my current reality. And so I can deal with it. Our brains are so powerful. I'll give you another personal example. I've been growing my hair out. And 2 times ago, when I went to the salon, they didn't cut my hair. I just had my roots done, middle age, gray. She didn't cut my hair. Yet, when I got home, because I've been going to the same person for years and years, and she always cuts my hair. So this time, my hair was not cut. I know this to be a fact. Yet, when I got home and I looked in the mirror, I thought my hair was shorter. I really had to spend some time looking at my reflection because I swore my hair was shorter. And so my brain is wired to come home from the salon and be shorter. And so that is what I saw, even though I knew it wasn't the truth. And so I had to like really work on that. Like, what is going on for me? What is this bringing up for me? Fear around the results, fear around what I look like, my external appearance. It's wild what our brains do to us. And so, this is a similar thing. When you notice a reaction, when you notice a story, take the time to really explore it and ask the questions without judgment so that you're safe to answer them and be like, what's actually going on for me? What's actually coming up? Maybe do a meditation around it if meditation is something that serves you, because the stories will always show up. So, my invitation for you today is to rewrite it, rewrite the story. Remember that you are the one that's in control of you. That is the truth, whether it feels like it or not. It just means doing the work. The work is not easy. It's hard, but you're worth it. So Notice the stories. Let's play out a couple of other examples. Maybe it's a colleague or a coworker that you know to normally be high energy, bubbly, effervescent, and they aren't like that today. Do you tell yourself a story about what it means about you? Or perhaps you're telling somebody something that happened to you and they don't respond in a way that you expect. Maybe they're like, oh, what is the story that you say to yourself? Is it, I knew that they weren't interested in that. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? It's usually something critical of ourselves or of the other person. Maybe it's a loved one and it was their birthday and you gave them a gift, and when they opened it, they didn't seem as excited as you had hoped that they would. Does that then mean that you weren't good enough or that they didn't like it? Not necessarily. You don't know, but your brain will tell you something about it. So, the story work that we're going to do today is we're going to notice the story, explore them with depth, being gentle with yourself in these moments. Write it down, read it through, and cross out the parts that aren't what you want them to be and rewrite them. Take radical responsibility for what is yours in your story. You are the one that can answer, what do you want your story to be? So if you write it down and you read it through and there's things that you don't like about it, rewrite it. Physically rewrite it and then read it to yourself. I encourage you to practice this over and over again with a few different stories. Do it in your journal, do it in your notes app, do it wherever works for you. And may your stories reflect your hopes and not your fears. That's the beauty in rewriting them. As always, I thank you for being here. I thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you'll never miss an episode. And I get to see you next time.